Wow, what a day it has been. Tonight, we have learned that just 1 week ago, the top intelligence official in the U.S. government working on protecting our elections from foreign interference, that official 1 week ago today briefed the Intelligence Committee that Russia right now is interfering again in our elections, interfering in the 2020 election to try to re-elect President Trump. The official specifically told the Intelligence Committee last week something about this influence effort that we have not heard before, which is that Russia's intention this time around is not only to interfere in the general election to try to benefit President Trump's campaign, but also to interfere in the Democratic primaries as well. Now, this is new information. This is specific. This is not just like a general warning about the general intent of Russia. The stuff that we can surmise from their past behavior and their perceived intentions. Sometimes we do get these generic warnings. Everybody should be vigilant. Expect it to happen again. This is specific information from multiple U.S. intelligence agencies conveyed behind closed doors to the Intelligence Committee. It is on. Russia is running an op to try to help re-elect Donald Trump in 2020. According to the intelligence agencies, it is underway. And for the first time, we are hearing that this interference this time around will include trying to target or somehow get inside the Democratic primary process as well. Now, this warning was reportedly issued by the top official in the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, who since last summer has been officially in charge of overseeing all U.S. intelligence efforts to try to monitor and thwart foreign countries' efforts at attacking our democracy, the way Russia did on Trump's behalf in 2016, and which apparently they're working on a new and improved effort for this next election as well. So deep breath. It's not exactly deja vu. It's more like that slow motion feeling you get when you're sliding around on the ice and you know you're going to crash, but it doesn't feel like there's much you can do about it. Here we go again. And looking at these headlines about this news tonight, it's kind of a get real moment. It is a bit of a rallying cry, right? This is an all hands on deck moment for our democracy. Here we are again, 4 years later. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, in the immortal words of George W. Bush, fool me twice, can't get fooled again. So this briefing to the Intelligence Committee in the House about Russian interference in the 2020 election to try to re-elect Donald Trump and their intent to interfere in the Democratic primary to try to achieve that same result. This briefing to the Intelligence Committee was apparently a week ago today. It was last Thursday. The reason we learned about it in news reports tonight from the Washington Post and the New York Times is because of what the response was inside the Trump administration when they learned that briefing had been delivered to Congress. In the White House, this news was apparently not greeted with a deep breath, with a sentiment that we all need to pull together to make sure this doesn't happen to our country again. What we have learned tonight in both the Washington Post and the New York Times is that instead of that kind of response from the White House, the real response from this president and the people in the White House who let him do things is that they decided that they should fire the Director of National Intelligence. Because, after all, it was somebody working in his office who gave that briefing to Congress about what Russia is doing to try to benefit President Trump's re-election. Now, the official who gave this briefing didn't make up this information about what Russia is doing. The briefing was not like, an op-ed. As spelled out in the New York Times tonight, the intelligence official who briefed the committee on this just last week, that person was the messenger delivering the quote, conclusions of multiple intelligence agencies. And so, I repeat, it is the conclusion of multiple U.S. intelligence agencies that the Russian Federation is once again trying to interfere in our 2020 election, our presidential election, again to try to elect Donald Trump. And new twist, they plan on trying to interfere in the Democratic primary to achieve that aim as well. This is what the intelligence agencies have concluded. And this is what they have briefed to Congress. And so naturally, the president has concluded that we'll need someone new to run the intelligence agencies then. So if there is information like this, the intelligence agencies, what, sit on it? Keep it from Congress? I mean, this is just astonishing. It's not astonishing that Russia is trying to interfere in the next election because they like what they got from their effort 4 years ago. That's not astonishing. I think we were all waiting to hear this, right? Russia's behavior is something that should be expected, even if the contours of it are all going to be new. What is astonishing is that the White House reaction to learning that information from the intelligence agencies is that somebody new should be running the intelligence agencies, that the intelligence agencies certainly shouldn't be briefing this information about Russia's behavior to Congress. And this is still a developing story tonight. Tonight, former CIA Director John Brennan just said this, quote, "We are now in a full-blown national security crisis. By trying to prevent the flow of intelligence to Congress, Trump is abetting a Russian covert operation to keep him in office for Moscow's interests, not America's." We'll have more on this tonight.